Hello again, YouTube. Welcome back. I'm currently in the middle of packing to leave for the fall festival, which I leave for tomorrow, which is really exciting. Yay! But that means that my camera's got lost in the middle of my packing, so I'm filming this on my webcam. So we'll see if my computer decides to kill my sound again. Sorry if the sound is pretty dodgy again. Hopefully it works. I don't know. I went to one of the event screenings on Sunday night. The opening scene is that scene you've seen on the trailer where they're all in the water pulling the ship in. Just drew you in instantly. Visually, the whole thing was spectacular. That first scene, just wow. The vocals of the cast in that opening track and throughout the whole film, but in that opening track it's just hits you straight away. There's just so much power behind it. It was amazing. I thought it translated quite well to movie format overall. During the first maybe 10 minutes or so I found it did start to drag a little. It's difficult because it's pretty much continuous singing. So if you go to see a stage show you kind of expect there to be lots of singing, but going to a movie, even knowing it is a musical, you expect there to be a certain amount of dialogue. It's just, well, I know I do anyway. Just the incredible standard of acting and singing set by the cast and the design and just the whole thing pulled together, and you kind of got over that. I found it really interesting the way they did it. Everything was sung live on set, probably contributed a little to how it did translate so well. So when you do a musical movie, generally you'll get the actors into the studio a couple months in advance. They'll record their soundtracks, they'll go on set, they'll mime it to the soundtrack they've previously recorded. With Les Mis, they got the actors on set and recorded every take live. So when you see Hugh Jackman, I did see him doing an interview and he's talking about doing that section, what have I done, sweet Jesus, what have I done. Usually seeing a stage show you have that standard sound to it, but with him, because he was doing it live, he acts it more than try to sing it to the sort of more traditionally accepted version. So there are parts where he's just speaking the words and there's just so much emotion behind it, and it was incredible. Anne Hathaway was another perfect example of that. Again, I saw an interview with her and she's saying there's kind of this expectation to do the pretty versions of songs. So Anne Hathaway obviously had I Dream to Dream. It didn't fit that pretty version that people normally expect of that song, because it is a beautiful song, but there was just so much power and so much emotion behind it, and it was incredible. I'm pretty sure everyone in the cinema broke down crying at that point. Fun tip for you, if you're going to see it, take a pack of tissues. Just, you will need them. Russell Crowe, I wasn't expecting much from him at all. So he wasn't amazing, but he did a lot better than I expected. My biggest complaint about him was the death scene, which wasn't even necessarily Russell Crowe's fault. Just the visual on the death scene really didn't seem to match with the rest of the visual on the film. Like, visually, the whole thing is just stunning. But the visual on his death scene jumps into the river and you just see this thing float. It just didn't fit. And that really broke the illusion. Even just for a couple of minutes from the death scene, a couple of minutes after until things pick up again, it pulls you out of that world and you kind of lose that connection a little bit. So I wasn't keen on that one. Stars, one of his songs, he's meant to be this really strong, sort of intimidating, powerful character, and he kind of started to get there a little bit, but there was so much more he could have done with it. Stars just didn't have the power that I would have liked behind it. Helena Bonham Carter and Sacha Baron Cohen were just brilliant. They worked so well together. Oh, such a fantastic casting choice. At times their characterization was a little bit questionable, but I loved the way they worked together. Eponine, Samantha Barks, she is beautiful, and she was just stunning. That was just a wonderful portrayal of the character. Marius and Cosette, I was a little unsure at first. I mean, I liked them separately, and when I saw them together I wasn't entirely convinced that they worked together. But then when you get to sort of the wedding and that sort of period, they definitely picked it up, and I was really happy with the way they worked together, and as well as individually. They were fantastic together. Another point that I thought was well done was the aging of the characters, because it is set over such a long time period. The design, the makeup, the costumes, the design of film, the characters aged really well. Hugh Jackman, that was definitely obviously one of the noticeable ones. I think that carried quite well. There were a couple of things I think could have been done better, but overall I was really happy with it. This was only for my first viewing, so there are probably things I've missed, but overall I was so happy with it. Leave your comments below, let me know what you guys thought. I'm off to the Falls Festival tomorrow, so I probably won't be uploading for a couple of weeks now because I'll be away. But I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. I hope you've all had a happy Christmas and a safe and happy New Year to you all. See you in the new year.